Hello, welcome back to Survival Saturday with Johnny Tiger on May 4th, 2024. May the force be with you. I'm still a little bit sore when it comes to Star Wars topic because last year I had to sell my entire Star Wars collection to pay for the cat's medical bill, so I'm a little bit sore about that. Before we begin, I want to take this chance to address two comments that I've seen recently on one of my previous videos, and not that I am angry or anything. I think, you know, when you put yourself out on YouTube and um, out on social media, comments and things like that, whether good or bad, are going to happen. I've gotten a lot of good comments, so getting some bad ones is fine. And uh, they might be totally uh, not serious or whatever, but I want to address them because I think uh, for me, getting comments is good. It means someone's watching the video or someone saw part of the video. But if you guys making those comments were serious, and I think maybe we can learn a little bit of something. So the first comment I that caught my attention was someone alluding to me looking silly with my headset and glasses, right? Well, as I responded to that comment, there are times when I do this without glasses, but okay, a lot of people, a lot of people have mentioned that my totally scarred and messed up eyes, my totally blind, messed up eyes, kind of disturbing. Okay, my own students, mostly kids students, but my own student have mentioned that, and it hurts my feeling. So I try to do this with glasses on, so you guys don't have to suffer my horrifying visage. Right? It's for you. It's not really for me. What? You think I like to jump around and do all this martial arts stuff, risking glasses and headset falling off? No. I'm doing this for you guys. Same with the headset. Would I love to do this without headset? Yes, I would. But when I don't have the headset on, no one can hear me because I'm like way back here and the phone is way over there across the room. So unless one of you want to invest in some money to support this channel and buy me a lapel Bluetooth microphone that can work with the phone, we'll have to put up with the headset so you guys can hear me. So yeah, that's why. You know, silly glasses, silly headset. I don't like them. They look silly, but they're necessary to a certain degree. The other comment that I saw was yes, I just said saw. Blind guy can still say saw. Yeah, it's fine. Um, the other comment that I saw said something about me just watching 10 minutes of action movies and now I think I know everything about body mechanic or something like that. Um, to that comment, I would just say I invite you to go on Google and just Google a little bit about Johnny Tai or Johnny Tiger, or just type in blind martial art Johnny Tiger, something like that. And you will know that first, I'm blind, so I don't watch action movies. Even when I listen to them, I don't get any kind of inspiration from them. Number two, I have been very active in the self-defense and martial arts circle for a long time. I've been training for almost 35 years to this point. So no, I do not need any kind of um, action movie or audiobook or anything like that to make me think. I know body mechanic. I know body mechanic. I can without ego, without self-inflating. I can say this. I know body mechanic much better than a lot of people. As a blind person, as a person who have to be blind and doing martial art, I have to be very good, very knowledgeable about what joint is where. When I catch the wrist, the elbow is here, the shoulder joint is there, the throat is here. I don't have the luxury to use my eyes. Okay? So, without out of the way, keep the comments coming. Good one, bad one. As long as you're not too out of line, I will try to respond to them. Okay? Today I'm going to talk about how knife defense is different. Self-defense using a knife is different when you're blind. Okay? Yeah, I know. Some of you are already, whoa, blind guy carrying knife. Yeah, we do. We should. When we are blind, we already are at a disadvantage. We need something sharp, right? So, how is this different? Um, People who know me for a long time know that I've said this. That's something that annoys me a lot is when people say there should be a martial art for the blind. I disagree. I think there's already enough martial art in the world. I don't think there need to be a martial art for the blind. But I think there are a lot of techniques that need to be modified for a trainee, a blind practitioner to maximize and get the best out of them. Right? Knife defense is one of those things. Now, today we are not going to get into all the nitty gritty about uh, legality, uh, application, possible things happening and stuff like that. Okay, we can talk about that all day. I want to focus on how is this different because a lot of time, a lot of trainers make the common mistake that they try to train a blind person the same as they train a sighted person. Now, while that is rewarding in its own way and flattering to the blind person, hey, I'm getting treated equally, it is not effective. Why? For example, I used this example before. A lot of time when I'm sparring or fighting, I will intentionally back towards a corner and I often will have the trainer on the side yelling at me, don't back toward the corner, get to the center, get to the center. And in my head, I'm thinking, no, you idiot, I don't want to be in the center because I can't see the person circling. I need to have my back to the wall so that I know they're not going to come at me from behind, right? So that's just one example of why a blind person have to train differently as a sighted person in some situation. And knife defense is the same thing. First, for most sighted person trying to defend yourself with a knife. Now, let's say this. I want to say this out, get this out of the way. I'm not talking about knife fighting. Okay, knife fighting is bullshit. Okay, knife fighting is mostly something you just see in movies. People do not go out on the street. You take out your knife. I give me time to take out my knife, and then I get into my martial art pose, and then you get into your martial art pose, and 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, you see that on stage on TV. That's the competition stuff that you see on stage. Like real life, don't go that way. Real life, unless you get into some really stupid situation where you agree to a knife fight, willingly, um, most of the time it's the person who get out the knife and it's in your face right away, right? You don't have time. Pull out your knife and do a knife fight. So that's not what we're talking about. And I'm not really addressing when we are already engaged with each other, like he's trying to rip my face off. Maybe he's got a knife in the other hand, and I got his wrist, and I pull out my knife. In this case, blind or sighted, it's the same. Okay, in this case, if you can get your knife or if you can get his knife, then you just start stabbing. There's no difference. Okay? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, let's say you hear a strange noise in your house in the middle of the night. Well, if you really think there's a threat, you should always call the cops, right? Grab your phone, get to a safe place, call the cops. But what if you're not sure? What if you just want to sure is it your wife, your kids in the kitchen, or what's going on? Okay, and you want to grab a knife and go investigate, right? Or a bunch of threatening people, bunch of threatening individuals come out of the dark alley coming towards you, and you want to warn them off. and you pull out the knife to show them that you are not defenseless. Okay, these are the scenarios I'm more addressing here as the knife defense. So, for a sighted person, when I train my sighted students, we always teach several holds for the knife defense. So when you pull out your knife, let's say you go investigate what that strange noise is, or you stand, you're trying to wait for those threatening guys to not come any closer. You either hold it the cross guard fashion. If you're into your Filipino martial art, if you know your Filipino martial art, eskrima and stuff like that, then you will chamber it across the body on the shoulder like this, or over the shoulder on the same side like this. Because this gives you a powerful striking position when the other person make a move. You keep your eye on them, you keep your eye on them, and the moment their hands with weapons in them come into range, you cut the hand and retract and move. You cut, retract, always move. After you cut, don't just stand there, right? So that is the standard. Number two is the low aggressive forward stance. Okay, you see this in combat movies sometimes. You hold it low in front like this, belly level, and from here the advantage is it's hard for them to grab it, and also if they charge towards you, you don't even have to do anything. They'll just impale themselves, right? And it's harder for them to keep track of your knife when you're moving. Okay, so you hold the knife in front, hold it out in front, belly level, and then you move, 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 move. And the moment they make a threatening move, you can lunge or cut, right? That's the second type. The third type, I like to call this do not come any closer move. It's a knife across the body in front, arm almost straight like this, some usually on the back of the knife in a nice regular hammer hold or saber grip. You hold it like this. This is a very defensive hold, and one of the ones I really don't recommend because there are so many ways for you to get disarmed from this, but a lot of people will hold it this way. Number four, the more trained one, commando grip. When you attract the knife, you will hold it reverse, tip down, and with your elbow bent like this, knife almost to the side of your face, pointing at the person. This way, when the person make a threatening move, you can either lash at the face, at the chest. Don't do that, you'll kill them. At the leg, that might kill them too. Yeah, it's a very aggressive, very powerful way to hold the knife. So these are the four. There are a lot more depending on what you train in, but these are the major four that sighted people will hold the knife in a defensive maneuver, in a knife defense. Blind people, I do not recommend any of you to hold the knife this way. And if you have ever sparred using a knife, you will know why I say that. Because, um, excuse me, the a strand of my hair is irritating my eyes. I'm not crying. I got a strand of hair poking me in the eye behind the glasses. So that was a bit irritating. So blind people, I don't recommend any of these positions because it's too visible. Okay, when you're blind, it's unlikely that your attacker is going to be blind. Most likely, your attacker is going to be sighted. So their sight can tell them where the knife is right away. No matter if you hold it here at a low offensive guard, at the forward stop guard, at the commando grip, or at the screamer pose. All four of these make the knife very visible, and most of the time it's too forward, which means if you're blind, you are not going to have enough reaction time if the person suddenly kicks the knife, kick your hand, or if the person suddenly step to the side and grab your wrist, or suddenly step in close. Like let's say I hold it here in a screamer guard, and the person, excuse the expression, blindside me, and get this close that now my arm is jammed up, right? This is bad. So for blind practitioner, I train them to hold the knife either in a modified forward guard into a hip guard, which means I'm going to have my free hand forward because in case you guys haven't thought about this before, if you're blind, your hand is kind of like your eyes, okay? So while for the rest of you, you can look across the room. You can see the person from across the room. For me, this is about the range of my vision. This and my hearing, okay? So I need my eyes, aka my free hand, to be forward. So if the person comes in range, I can instantly be able to tell what is the intention. So if the person come in, let's say I hold it the regular way, the regular low offensive forward like this, the person suddenly come in and push my hand toward me. I don't have time to react. I might cut myself. Okay? If I hold it offensive forward but to the hip, and the person try to come in this close to my body, my free hand will detect them. My free hand will be able to shove them back, and my knife will come out right into the stomach. Okay? Try not to do that to anybody. Murder charge is not cool. So that is one alternative. It's a still low, still offensive forward, but hip, close to the hip. Another reason why holding close to the hip is good when you're blind is this gives you very strong posture. So if the person, let's say they do, excuse the expression, blindside me, they do come around the side and push my hand and try to jam me up. Okay, this is different. If my hand is here at the hip, I have a lot of force in my body to step into them or just step away, and then my knife can be coming up like that, right? Number two is the forearm shield um, holding position. This is similar to the commando grip, but I will hide the knife behind my wrist like this. So I'm not going to point the knife toward the person. I'm going to hold it close to my forearm, and I'm going to have my arm down by my side, almost relaxed. This is how I would, like let's say I hear a weird noise in the house. Go investigate, right? This is how I'm going to hold it because this gives me a lot of options. If the person come up behind me and try to grab me, they're not going to notice right away that I'm actually holding something in my hand. They try to choke me from behind. I'm just going to drive this right into their groin. Okay? If I go into the kitchen and some uh, drug-induced high or crazy guy suddenly leap at me and tackle me to the ground, my knife is right here by my hip, hiding under my forearm. So they come at me. Let's say they get a hold of me and we're in a grappling situation. That does not jam up my knife. All I have to do is bring my forearm up and slice this across the front of their body. Or if they got their arm here, all I have to do is do this, slice up their arm. That's not going to kill them. Also, this allows me to transition into the hook knife control. When I bring my arm up, I can drop the knife down right over their arm. And now this arm is mine. It's not going anywhere. Right? So those are the two uh, knife defense positions that I personally teach for blind people. For sighted people, it does not make sense to have the knife this close to your body because you want to be able to react in the first instant when the person's charging towards you, when the person's coming at you. You can see if they're going to kick your hand. You can react. For a blind person, however, for us to stick our knife out here in the front, or up here where everyone can see it, it would be to our disadvantage because we can't see what they are going to do. Okay, we need the knife nice and close to our body because close quarter fighting is what most blind people excel in. Right? At this distance, I might not be very effective, but if I'm this distant with somebody, I am just as effective as any sighted person, probably more. I want to say this again. I do not teach these things so I can get a bunch of blind people or people out there killing each other with knives. But it's a dangerous world out there. When you carry a knife, it's not just defending against people, it's for situations where you might be attacked by dogs, wild animals, or you might be in an accident and need a knife to cut yourself free from the car, or any of that kind of situation. So a knife is not a killing tool. It can be used as a killing tool, but it's a tool first and weapon second. Thank you for being here with me today, and I'll be back again tomorrow for Soul Search Sunday.